Deep spit jutsu. Hey, we gotta talk about relationships. We gotta explain why most men don't get relationships. Like, most guys don't have any idea what they're doing in relationships. Most guys take their cues from Disney movies and sitcoms and rom-coms and from other girls, from their mom. Every guy's taking relationship advice from everybody except for a man who's actually running a successful household. And that's the big problem with relationships today. And we're going to go over the three reasons why most guys just don't get relationships and don't understand what they're even doing in a relationship. Nonetheless, getting to the steps to actually get into a relationship. So we're going to talk about this for all my brothers in the field that are dealing with their girl and they're lost and confused, don't even understand why we're here. I'm going to help you out. So three reasons, man. First, most guys don't understand their value. Two, most guys are scared to lose the pussy. And three, most guys are really scared of the responsibility that comes with being in a relationship, like a real relationship. So let's get into it. See, in a relationship, there is value exchange. Each person has a value exchange. And since nobody's even, there is a disparity within the value of the people in the relationship. And this goes across the board for all relationships, from business to sports to customers and clientele, to your mom and your dad, to you and your dad, to your brothers and sisters. We each have different values because we're all different people. And within the context of a romantic relationship, the value discrepancy is usually in favor of the guy, and then the woman's a little bit lower. Because what the guy wants out of the relationship is usually a lot less than what the girl requires out of the relationship. So we're looking at maybe like an 80-20 balance. But the thing is, it makes a whole 100 because what she gives you in a relationship is so valuable to you because it makes your life complete. And what you give to her is so valuable because it makes her life incomplete. But the huge problem is most guys in the modern dating scene don't understand what their actual value in a relationship. Like, I try to explain to guys, your job in a relationship, you are first of all, the provider, the protector. That's essential. So you need to be providing protection, you need to be providing resources. And if you look up online what the average cost of a full-time bodyguard that's on call, we're talking about $200,000 minimum. Minimum. And that's not including if you're trained in combat, you know how to use firearms. If you're actually proficient, you have the spirit of a warrior, your value actually goes higher. Like, the CIA will pay you a lot more if you're combat trained, if you're firearm trained, if you have a concealed carry. All those things play in the factor. You're also the provider. So you're the bigger guy. You're the problem solver, the fixer. You're her therapist. You're her teacher. You're the, Jesus Christ, there's so many jobs that you are. You're her strength and conditioning coach. You're her health and fitness coach. You got to teach her so many different things. And all those jobs that you're required to do within a relationship, that has a value amount attached to it. And then you compare it to like what she brings to you, which is she gives you access to her body. She might cook for you, and she looks good on your arm, and she rubs your back. Now, if we're looking at this on a value proposition, you're damn near bringing almost $1 million worth of like skills to the relationship, and she's bringing maybe 50,000. So most guys don't understand you really have the leverage in a relationship because it is so much harder for her to replace you as for you to replace her. Now the tables a little bit, they don't really change, to be honest with you. Like, the tables are always in your favor because time always favors man as opposed to woman. Simply because like we get better with time, and what they provide to us, which is their youth, their beauty, their womb, those things degrade over time. Like, she can't give you babies at 40 something, but you can give another woman a baby at 40. So these different disparities means that you actually are bringing more to the table of a relationship. And most guys don't see that aspect of the relationship. And so she essentially is conning most guys in a relationship. Most guys think that they're getting some great deal, and she throws that on you like, I'm a good woman, and I do this, and I have a job, and I have this, and I take care of you, and I have sex, and I stay in shape, blah, blah, blah. And most guys are like, well, yeah, man, I guess she's right. But bro, it's like, dude, you're a man. You got way more skills just by nature. And you're also rarer. You're a rare commodity. Single males that don't have children are rare and few in between. Like, there's a gap where a man hits his earning potential, where he has his house, he has his fitness in shape, he has some assets, he has a business running. And he's single, and he's in shape, and he not like, do you understand that window of time of guys that are actually husband ready? It's really from ages like 25, 26 to about 40. That's a small gap of window. And only so few males actually build themselves into being somebody that's deserving of like a real wife and a family and a kids and shit like that. So like your value on the proposition table, like you're very rare. You're a rare commodity, and you're single, like, and you have no kids. Like, dude, she's not gonna find better. She's not. If you're a guy that's on your shit, you're in shape, you're taking care of business, and you're a single dude, no kids, no more. Like, you might have a mortgage, but you're not really having a mortgage. But you have all your things, all your ducks in a row. You just standing there stacking chips, enjoying life. She's not gonna find a bunch of guys out there like that. Most guys are losers, and most guys that aren't losers that are making money are fat. Most guys that are not fat are not making money. Like, it's a very rare to find that commodity. So you gotta understand your value within the relationship and use your leverage to your advantage. Because guess what? She's using her leverage to her advantage. I can promise you that. I can assure you, she's using her looks and her body and her ability for sexual desire. She's using that to her utmost ability. So use your abilities, use your skills. Let her know, look, I'm rare. I can get out of here and replace you. I don't need you. You're not necessary in my life. Now I'm necessary in your life because I provide and I protect for you. But you're not doing a damn thing for me unless I ask you to do it. So make me a sandwich. And that's the type of energy you need to start coming with in these relationships. Because you really need to force her to prove herself. If she's not coming in a virgin, what are you getting out of this deal that's fair to you? Really think about that. Because in the virginity thing, a lot of women get mad about it because a lot of women blew their virginity on high school losers that didn't turn out to be anything. And in ancient times, like, your virginity was the most valuable thing that a woman possessed, her beauty, her virginity, because it's like she was never touched by another man. So you know the children, if you guys had sex, you know the children were without a doubt your children. And that's largely what the whole virginity thing is about. It's like, I don't have to worry about the idea that my children might not be my kids. And so, like, if she's not a virgin, if she can't provide you with the free peace of mind that there is no other man that has touched or soiled the land, then, dude, you need to make her work for it at all times. You need to let her know every time, like, look, I built myself into somebody who's worth it down. You threw your virginity away for a Chad that was a high school linebacker that ended up being a dropout. So no, I'm higher than you on this fucking totem pole. So respect that. And that's all you're asking for. You're just looking for respect. Get your respect. And this brings to the second part, which is most men are scared to lose the peace sleeve. Most guys get in relationships and they're in it just for the vagina. And then they get the vagina and then they're like, oh, this feels good, man. I don't have to pay for it. Like, she's coming over. She fucks me. She sucks me. Does all these things, all these nasty. And then when they start to feel that separation, they start getting scared and they start compromising. And this is why most men don't get relationships, because they're scared to lose. Like, they're scared to lose something that doesn't belong to them. Like, her body does not belong to you. That's her body. She gets to do what she wants to do with that body. You can never be scared that you're going to lose her body. It's not something that you can buy. It's not something that you can keep. It's hers to do whatever she pleases with. So you need to come in with that frame of mind. Like, she can do whatever she wants to do with her body, but I need to get some work out of you. I need you to be able to help make my life better. Because if all I'm getting if I'm paying for something, for a product I cannot keep, like, you're taking her out to dates, you're feeding her, you're doing all this other stuff, you're giving her cars, you're buying her nice shoes, clothes, you need to get something in return on your investment. And investing in vagina is not the best investment, because it can get up and walk out the door anytime it wants. So you need to look at other reasons for why you need to keep her around your life. Because if you're just keeping her around your life just for fucking the peace sleeve, then, bro, you're a loser. Like, that's top gay activity. You gotta change your frame of mind. You gotta look at your woman like you look at one of your homeboys. Like, if she's not a virgin, you gotta look at her like one of your friends. Would you have a friend that took from you and never providing anything for you? No, you would never have that type of person in your life. And so you have to make them prove that they deserve to be in your life. That's really the largest part of the relationships, especially if you're not dealing with virgins. You have to have her show that, look, you gave away your most valuable asset to some loser that doesn't exist anymore in your life. So why should I be investing the best part of me, even though you give up the best part of you for virtually nothing? So we need to have a system where you're paying me to be able to be within my presence, so I can be able to provide you. Because at the end of the day, you're going to always be in debt to me. You can never catch up the amount that it costs for me just to be your personal bodyguard. Just to be your personal bodyguard, like, you can never be able to afford me. So based off of that alone, we're not even getting into, like, me being your health coach, your fitness coach, your teacher, your therapist, your emotional freaking heavy bag that I got to listen to all your nonsense about your terrible stories at work, taking you out on dates that I don't even want to go on, watching terrible movies and shows I don't even want to look at. I want to go do work and kick with the homies. I'm wasting time with you Investing time in you, I should say. So if I gotta invest this time in you, I need to get something in return that's worth my effort. Or at least like, and then here's the thing, since you're never gonna be able to pay me back, I'm looking at the effort more so than what the product is. Like I can deal with you not giving the right output, but I gotta see you at least put the right inputs. I gotta see some effort. But most guys are so scared to lose that freaking pink peace sleeve, they'll compromise all that stuff and they slowly just lose sense of themselves. And the last thing about why men don't get relationships, like what they don't understand about relationships, are it's a responsibility. There's no such thing as a relationship without responsibility. That's just like acquaintances. Because if you truly care about this person, you need to be responsible for them. And most guys don't want to be responsible. Most guys want to just get ass with no tax or pay required. They just want to have free ass, which doesn't exist unless you're going around messing with crack fiends. Because at the end of the day, she has to get something out of her vagina. She has to make some type of productive gain from using her vagina, because every time that she gives it away to somebody, it loses value. So if it's losing value, there has to be some type of exchange that she gets from it. And so because that's the case that we're dealing with, most guys are scared of that responsibility that comes with dealing with getting vagina, because you have to pay something. And most guys are scared of like being the man in the relationship. They want to do this 50-50 thing. They want to compromise so they don't have to be fully responsible for whatever happens or the outcome of the relationship. So they rather put it on her. And this is where you start to see like the happy wife, happy life type thing. They want her to be responsible for the success of the relationship. Because secretly, they never really wanted a relationship. They just wanted pussy. And now they got bamboozled into this thing called a relationship. They don't know how to get out because now they started intertwining all these different things where like now they're sharing bank accounts, they're living in the same house, they're cohabitating, they got a dog together, family and friends are all together. If they all split up, the guy knows that he will lose all the friends and everything else that comes with it. And so because of that, most guys are scared of the responsibility of leading relationships. And because they're scared to lead, the relationship is doomed for destruction. And this is why most men just don't get relationships. Most guys don't understand what they're doing. Because if you understood what you were doing in a relationship, you would not be in a relationship in 2023 with 99.9999% of most of these girls. You just wouldn't. At best, you would just have one night stands, and that would pretty much be it. Because most girls have been just top gayified by top gays. The top gays, which are the dudes that are like the fuck boys that you would call them, they have just essentially ruined the dating market. They have essentially made the dating market just too volatile. So if you're a real dude that has some principles, you're taking care of your business, you don't need nobody for nothing, you're running your own thing, most girls just won't deal with you. Or if they do deal with you, they'll deal with you on a one-time, come over, you fuck them, then they leave type basis. They won't actually try to form any type of bond or emotional bond or really try to work with you in a long-term relationship because they don't have to. They can just deal with the top gays. The top gays give them money. The top gays do everything that you do, and they just don't require any. The top gays don't require any responsibility on the woman's part to uphold her hand in the bargain. They essentially just they pay for the presence of a girl to be around them, which is kind of like prostitution or escorting to some degree, like long-term escorting, because that's really what's going on in this situation. Because really, when you think about it, that's what an escort is. You pay for their company. And that's what most guys are doing. Most guys are doing, it's like secretive escorting, where like she's getting a bunch of stuff out of the deal just to be around you. But he doesn't actually get the love of the woman. He doesn't get any respect from her. He's not responsible. He's paying for as long as she wants to stay around. And then when she finds somebody else who's going to pay her more, she leaves and goes to that guy. And that's what this hypergamy thing. But it's all kind of funny because at the end of the day, it's not sustainable. It's not a sustainable model for relationships and for just life, because the only way relationships really work and that are productive is when the man's in a leadership role and he is protecting, providing for the woman. The woman is trying to actively make his life easier. That's the only way this situation works. So if a man is proactively fighting to basically be his, to make her life easy, to be with her, he can't focus on making his life better, which means he's going to naturally decay over time, because it requires so much focus and time and energy for a man to make sure his territory and his inhabitation is conducive to prosperity. That's a lot of work and time and energy. And if that's not occurring within a relationship, it's only going to doom, because the guy's eventually going to falter. His territory is going to eventually start to succumb to degradation. and eventually it falls apart. And that's what happens to most relationships in the 2023 in our modern relationship times. Most relationships fall apart because the guy stopped handling business on his front end to go spend his time to make a woman happy, which is impossible. You can't make a woman happy. She has to find happiness through your happiness, because it's like the trickle down effect. If I'm happy and I'm doing everything I need to do around in my territory, naturally a happy man makes everybody else around him happy. Like if a man has money and he's happy, he's having prosperity, everyone around him gets paid. When he goes to restaurants, he tips. When people come over and fix things at his house, he gives them more money. He's conducive to the economic flow of society, because men, they don't care about spending. So largely, man, I just want men to understand, just stop getting in relationships because you don't know what you're doing. So until you learn how to understand what your true value in a relationship, until you learn how to stop being scared of losing pussy, and until you learn how to take responsibility, stay out of relationships, be single, and go your own way and figure out life.